A great way to produce quick animation is by using the presets built into Flash already. And in this file, I currently have some graphics set up, and notice that I have some of these layers locked because what I want to animate are these words sitting right here. They're all on separate layers. So the first thing I need to do is extend out the timeline for all of these layers so then I can begin animating. So I'll just scrub down to about frame 110, and I'll just do a click and drag to select all those frames for all those layers. And I can do a control click or a right click if you're on PC, and I can insert frame. So that extends out the timeline for all these layers. Now I'm just going to grab each one of these keyframes for each word and just start to space out some of these graphics because I want to focus on the shoes movie clip. Notice it is on its own layer, and if I select it, you can see that it's an instance of movie clip. So I want to definitely make sure those two things are in place before I do any sort of animation. But now I'm going to go ahead and select that movie clip, and I'm going to go to Window and open up the Motion Presets panel. Here's my Motion Presets panel, and if you open up the default presets folder, you'll see a very long list of animation that you can choose from. So there's bounces, some fly-in and blurs, there's some regular fly-ins, which are nice, and then some other really unique ones as well. So multiple bounce, pulse, even smoke. So I encourage you to check out all of these really cool motion presets available. But in my case, what I want to use is just this fly-in blur bottom. So it's going to fly in from the bottom and kind of blur in and then sharpen. So I'm going to select that movie clip, go to my Motion Presets panel, select the preset, and then click Apply. I'm going to move this Motion Presets panel off to the side, and you'll notice in my timeline, it adds that motion preset. It's actually Motion Tween. And if I scrub through, you can see my text actually sort of sliding off of the screen. And of course I don't want this, but I can easily select that path and then reposition that object. So I can just move that path on down, and now I can see that it comes in from the bottom and then rests into place. I actually want this graphic to actually appear here a little longer beyond the 15th frame. So I'm going to select frame 30 and do a control click or a right click if you're on PC, and insert frame. What that does is that extends out that object, make sure it exists beyond frame 15 so the user has a chance to read it. Next up is jeans. So I'll click and drag that movie clip down, and with it selected, I can go to the Motion Presets panel, select Fly-In Blur from the left, and click Apply. And I'll scrub through in my timeline and stop right here on this second one, and regardless of where I am, I can always select that motion path and then move that object into place just like that. Now we can see it blur in from the left side. And again, I want to extend out its timeline by clicking on the 60th frame and inserting a frame. Just like that. Looks good. Next one. Shirts is going to appear after the jeans. I'll select that graphic, select the preset I want to use, which is going to blur from the right, and I can click Apply, and then it adds it. So you can see that it's pretty easy to add these motion presets and then adjust them just by moving the motion path. So it does slide in and rests into place. I'll extend out its timeline as well. I'll just insert a frame for that layer, and now my object exists a little longer. Okay, the last one I'm going to deal with is this style word, and I'm going to have it come in a little more unique, so I can pick maybe another one of these down here. Let's take, there's a spiral 3D, a swoosh, and what I want to use is a zoom in 2D. So I'll select that preset, click Apply, and then it adds that preset. So you can see it comes into place just like that. Notice that it actually added multiple keyframes in there. And you can extend or decrease the length of these motion tweens if you want to. And watch what happens if I do that. I can actually sort of scrunch it up, make it smaller, and it will proportionately compress all of those keyframes. Conversely, I could stretch it out, and you can see it stretches out those keyframes. So you really have the flexibility you need if you're adjusting any of these motion tweens. And I'm just going to make sure it ends right here at frame 110. Everything seems to be looking pretty good, so I'll just do a control test movie, and I'm going to test it in Flash. Now we can see all of that text sliding in. I'd say pretty easy to do. Again, once these graphics are set up, it really takes mere minutes to add any motion preset that you want to really bring some life to your project.